Dr. GK Master. A small intro about GK sir. Dr. GK is not only a dedicated medical doctor by profession, but also a profound spiritual scientist. He has devoted his life in enhancing the physical, spiritual, and mental well being of individuals through meditation, pyramid energy, and spiritual wisdom. He founded the Spiritual Tablets Research Foundation, a non religious, non profit, voluntary organization under the guidance of Brahmarshi Pitama Patriji. With 24 years of meditation practice and accumulated wisdom, Dr. GK developed wisdom capsules known as spiritual tablets. These capsules empower people to self heal through their own meditation and acquired wisdom. To disseminate his knowledge, Dr. GK has established multiple virtual and physical spiritual tablet centers across India and internationally. His efforts have successfully guided over 10,000 individuals in their journey to self-healing and wellness. A warm welcome, sir. It's a great pleasure and immense gratitude for having you here. So over to you, sir.
Thank you very much for inviting me to this session about beloved master, spiritual scientist rather, Brahmarshi Patriji, with whom I had countless memories for a period of 25 years. And the initial days of my carving in this lifetime happened through him. Of course, Paul Vijay Kumar is the one between me and Patriji, but directly and indirectly, we were influenced in a great way by Patriji. And this entire week is dedicated to him. The reason for joining this session is to share my memories and the teachings and the way how I learned from him in the initial days. And then tomorrow we are proceeding to Malaysia. There also we are conducting Patriji birthday in Genting Island. Whatever the lessons and then some of the situations that I faced with Patri sir and the vision that he hold for the whole world. In both the ways, I feel I'm so blessed to be with him and to be a part of this moment. In the year 1994, ever since I met, the first encounter with Patriji, all the group of doctors, we met him, around 7 or 8 doctors from Vijayawada, we met him in Kurnool. The moment we saw him, he says, all you doctors are killers. Okay, so you are just killing the people. And whatever the opportunity that comes on the body as a disease, in the name of disease, is an opportunity for the people to learn something, to reposition themselves. But we are interfering in between, and then by giving them treatment and surgeries, you are just making the people lazy. And that's why he said, you're all the killers. So that really gave a very big hit on my young medico brain, I can say, because medicos means always with an apron and like a doctor image, our eyes will be somewhere here all the time. But when it is the first time, maybe after 4 years of my medical journey, because I met him in 4th year, nobody, scolded like that. And that is the moment where I started, thinking from the scratch and then how to understand the whole medical science from his perspective. And of course, parallelly, I met Dr. Newton, Dr. Yogandhar in that, initial days of bigger gatherings like Buddha Purnima and Yajnas that we conduct. So during that journey, some of the easy concepts that Patri sir used to teach, which are very practical in, theoretically, we may find some of those things, but how to apply them practically in life is very tricky. And then by the time already there are a lot of scriptures we have, like, Bhagavad Gita or Bible. But what is the starting point? Where to start? That is a big thing. But so once when we are in Kurnool, immediately after meditation, so we are all coming out of the pyramid, and suddenly there is a big sound. Of course, it is Patriji's voice only. What are you? So the scene is, he stood near the entrance gate, and whenever someone is coming out of the pyramid, he is asking, what are you? So what are you means, we don't know what is there in his mind. So there is a kind of turmoil that master says something and Patriji scolds him and again asks, what are you? So after repetitive questions of what are you, finally he said, Pyramid Master. Oh, good, now you go. So then again the people came to know, okay, so we are Pyramid Masters, that we need to tell. Again there are some goats, they will follow naturally. So everybody is coming out. What are you, Pyramid Master? What are you, Pyramid Master? And suddenly there is a big slap sound for the next guy. So he astonished. He told Pyramid Master, but again he slapped. Why he slapped, you don't know. So he asked, what are you? What are you again? So then somehow he got his own courage and idea. He said, I am Senior Pyramid Master. Yes, you are right. Now you go. So for the remaining people, then they came to know there are two grades, Pyramid Master and Senior Pyramid Master. Then after some time, some senior guy came, and without any slap sound, he admitted himself Grand Pyramid Master, because he knows, like he is in a grand way. So finally, all the people were graded: Pyramid Master, Senior Pyramid Master, and Grand Pyramid Master. So those are the three levels. So finally, on that day, he concludes, see, in this world, nobody is enlightened. Into that environment, we are all going. So first of all, we have to know that what we are. Nobody is there to judge you or guide you or give a label or, a felicitation kind of thing, because they are enlightened. An enlightened guy, how can he know that you are enlightened? Because he is unenlightened. We are the one enlightened. So we should know our rank. It is not out of ego. It is out of the basic understanding where we stand, that we need to know first. Because we are entering into a filthy atmosphere which we are supposed to cleanse. Don't expect you to be honored in the community that you are a great master. Because they are goats, so they can't be in a position to understand you and then give you a felicitation or a kind of title. So you have to take your own title, and you have to understand what you are. That much confidence you should hold. So this is what he taught, and then from then onwards, it's all like a self-judgment. It is like we need to know where exactly we are and what steps we need to ascend in due course of time. So a new guy enters and learns Anapanasati meditation, plant-based diet, importance of plant-based diet, pyramid power, all the basics once he know, he is a pyramid master. If he do the same and he got some experience, and whenever he teach, he will share his experience, and apart from that some wisdom he will share, then he is senior pyramid master. And the same one who had a journey for 3 years and then Bhagavad Gita, some sort of subject, and then so that they can understand, that Grand Pyramid Master. So that is how that grading concepts he used to teach in the beginning days. Like, to understand a butterfly, we need to know all the 4 major stages. So that is how he used to give the different easy steps to understand the truth that we are reading in books and all. And he used to make the people to by heart the slokas. When I attended his 3-day yajna in Annavadam after coming from Andaman, This is in the year 2003, January 16, 17. So on the dais, all of a sudden he said in some context, how many of you by heart the Bhagavad Gita slokas or any slokas? Hardly there are 1-2 hand raises out of 300-400 people, including me. Then he said, you must by heart 100 slokas in next 1 year time. And he gave a challenge, public challenge, open challenge. You must learn minimum 50, maximum 100 slokas from every spiritual master like Bhagavad Gita and Bhajagovindam, Yogi Vemana. And so when you by heart and keep some content, what happens is in a given situation, whenever we are uttering something or thinking and then trying to plan something to do, then immediately this content of wisdom that we hold will automatically come into the picture. This acts like learning tables in math. If you learn tables, then it is very easy to do math. Otherwise, again, there is a time delay, in understanding that multiplications. Similarly, if we have some by heart truth with us, then in a given scenario, in a split second, we can make a wise and an enlightened decision. So, on his inspiration from Bhajagovindam and Yoga Vemana, and then in Bhagavad Gita, I had near about 40 slokas. And to my surprise, those slokas are very much helpful in my day-to-day life, in my speech, thinking pattern and actions, how to treat the people. Everything was completely changed because of those 40 slokas. At least for a period of 3 to 5 years, I even enjoyed teaching those slokas to other people contextually. I used to say like in a sweet, it's something like a kismis and badam, cashew and kismis, without which you can't even improve the taste or improve the elegancy of that particular sweet. This is almost similar to that. So making the habit of understanding the spiritual scriptures and a scientist through his wisdom, and the Jesus Christ book he gave is a phenomenal one. And how to understand the Jesus, to my knowledge, he is the one, the other, followers of Christ, I'm not sure about them, but the way how he understood Jesus Christ, and he gave a beautiful audio on that, as well as the book is there. So those quotes which came in my own meditation as well as a third day experience, that I implemented in my day-to-day life, and that gave a beautiful cut to make myself in diamond nature, I can say. Every spiritual master's teachings are like a cut to make ourselves from carbon to diamond. That is what I felt. And initial days, every time we meet him, he used to carry a spiritual author book, a new book. And that itself is a great inspiration. And allowing the people to read every spiritual master's book. Of course, he screened some eminent spiritual masters like Osho Rajneesh, Richard Bach, Seth, Linda Goodman, Ruth Montgomery, Carlos Castaneda. So those authors' books we need to read, and there is nothing like a PSSM syllabus. PSSM syllabus regarding books is like reading every spiritual master's book and taking the best out of it. So that openness towards reading the spiritual books is a very, very dynamic approach that was escalated by Patriji, and no other spiritual master or organization I have seen where they will encourage all spiritual books. They will have their own set of wisdom, and one has to go through that only. But here it is different. From the day one, they will start suggesting different spiritual authors' books to go through. Of course, the meditation technique is one. Simple breath observation, king of yogas, Raja Yoga, Sukha Pranayam. But Swadhyaya Yoga, one has to go through all the books. And not only reading the book, how greatly we are implementing those facts that are given in those books. In that area as well, he is very, very specific. For us, at times, I am sorry to say this, it looks like brutal. It looks like brutal, literally. But he never, lag behind, and then he never take his leg back in implementing the truth given in the books. A classical example, we were in a trekking program in Tirupati, and the whole trekking program is completed, and we are coming out of the forest. It takes minimum 40 minutes to 1 hour to reach that Japali, Tumburti, from that to that Papua National area. So some teams were already started. From 2 o'clock, people started dispersing after lunch. And me and Patriji and a group of people, we were almost like last but one batch, I can say. In groups we are going. And suddenly, one lady came and started crying in front of Patriji, sir, I am unable to see my son. And his chappals are there near that water pond, and he is not found. People are searching, and then he is not there, and she started crying. Something in my brain is sensing very bad. And usually whenever a mother is crying like that, what we expect from a guru? Okay, nothing will happen, be brave and don't cry. Such kind of, consoling words we expect. But what he knows, I don't know, from his third day. Whether he know the fact or not, it's immaterial. When he started crying, then he said, Hrudaya Daurbalyam, that sloka in Bhagavad Gita, this Shudram. One should not cry. Why you are crying? Have you not read Bhagavad Gita? In Bhagavad Gita says you should be a yogi. You have to take the things positive and negative equal. There is nothing like hardship and greatness. We are here to take the situations like a water drop on lotus leaf. That is what said in Bhagavad Gita. Why you read Bhagavad Gita? Why don't you implement it? Why you are crying? You are a yogi. You should not cry. You have to take the things equal. Everyone comes onto this earth for a purpose. Once his purpose is over, he will go away. Death is a celebration. Birth is a celebration. Why you are crying? Why don't you apply Gita in your life? Like that, he started scolding her. And she is surprised. When she comes to a guru for a consoling or a Abhaya Hasta, instead he started scolding to apply the Bhagavad Gita in that moment. And for me also, it looked like a bit annoying situation. A poor mother crying about his son, and he is the only son. There is another girl is there, son and daughter, and he is at the age of almost like medicine, some degree age group. And that went for 2-3 encounters, because someone comes and then says, still we are unable to find him, and we are slowly going towards the city. And every time she get a message, again there is a cry, and then followed by a scold and a teaching. I can't say it is a scolding, it is a teaching of Bhagavad Gita for her. So it is like whether you call it as Arjuna Vishada Yoga or that Yuddha Yoga. So that was happened almost like 2-3 encounters, and then finally we came, and then that boy was died in that pond. To my astonishment, before the day, actually I survived him, because he doesn't know the swimming. He is trying to learn swimming in that small ponds that are there in Tumburti crack. And I only watched. Among all the people, I am just watching, and suddenly he is drowning. Immediately I screamed, and then we jumped and we protected him before the day. And we told him very seriously, never come to this pond again, this is dangerous. But in spite of that, again, he made his own choice, and then finally he died. So actually that is the point where in fact we stopped conducting the trekking programs, because initially all the senior masters, around 100, 120 hardcore senior masters used to attend these trekkings, and they are really phenomenal, beautiful teachings by Patriji, the whole night campfires. And after that, these fascinating people started coming to the trekking program, because moving in a forest for 4 days and just for cost nothing, everybody will have. So a lot of food waste, and around 600 people came, managing them in there, and they don't have any idea about even meditation. Some people are non-vegetarians. So when started that kind of people started encroaching towards that serene atmosphere of learning meditation and then spiritual carnival, then I think he thought it is enough of doing, and then we stopped conducting that bigger programs of trekkings. Maybe its purpose is over. So that day, taking the death. So from that day onwards, there are a couple of encounters related to death of the senior masters or known ones. And I met him in general when I met him with my father. My father at the age of around 73, I guess so, 4 years ago in Visakhapatnam. The moment he says, "Appaji, why you are here? Why don't you leave your body and go upstairs, go to the other worlds? Your time is over. Okay, you are unnecessarily wasting your time. Change the body and again rejuvenate with a new journey if you feel like coming onto the earth." Bhavaroga. Then he expanded about the Bhavaroga in a very, very great way. Even being a medical doctor, of course, in medicine, nobody tell about Bhavaroga and karma. That is a different part of the story. But I am supposed to face the death of the people, but which I didn't even know by that time. And he expanded, like Bhavaroga is like leaving the physical body. When the successful journey of the parents, senior citizens especially, is over, now it is time for them to leave this corpus, and then they have to, rise with the soul. So leaving the body for the soul is like a bird leaving the cage. As long as the bird is in the cage, it is like an entrapment. It is not at all a freedom. So coming into this body and enjoying this world, or working on our purpose, is really great. As long as you are into the purpose, that is good. The moment your purpose is over, you are entering into that Bhavaroga period. So that Bhavaroga is, you should be ready to open the cage and come out of the cage any time, any point. But what we are doing, we are giving a very costly treatments and keeping them in ICU, keeping him on the ventilators, putting all the tubes, further trying to tie the cage, door to not to come out of that cage. So that is what he explained in a beautiful way. All the senior citizens has to be treated with their own freedom. We have to give them the knowledge about no death. That is the period where we have to give them the knowledge about the no death and other dimensions and intense sadhana. That is what they need to do. And we can create an energy atmosphere for the smooth transition. That is what we call it as 10 energy supports in spiritual tablets wisdom. Pyramid energy, music energy, and higher color curtains, crystals, and doing lot of meditation in that room and using only the positive words always. A little bit darker room. And all these things if we keep, then the energy amplification will happen, and then that allows the soul to transform from one phase to the other phase. It is release is happiness. Entry is happiness, and then release is also happiness. That is what he says. We should not show our mercy or show our gratitude by keeping them further in the cage. It is disrespect for the soul. It is not giving respect to the parents and then giving all sorts of treatments using your money. So this is how he thinks. It's a very, very, very dynamic thinking, and it is the truth, because that is what our spiritual scriptures say. Death and birth both are celebrations. Every soul comes onto this body, one day or other it must leave. And once the purpose is over, they are ready to go. So first we have to understand that as a children, and then we have to educate them. And when we are happy about their departing, by giving them the true spiritual signs of death, the signs of death, once they understand, they are open to die. And in fact, in so many areas, we give counseling for the family members to understand this whole scenario in a scientific way. That is where we can give them a better judgment. Instead of suffering on the bed, they will automatically, easily, they will go away. So understanding the Bhavaroga concept, especially the last stages of life after successful journey, to leave the body there is a process, and one has to be educated about death, and that is how we have to accept and they have to accept, and then in a smooth go it should happen. The takeoff. Landing is a celebration like birth. Takeoff is also celebration, to land somewhere again. And when I am traveling with Patri sir, so there is a very big joke. On that day, somehow he is reading the paper in the car. We are traveling to some session place. And everywhere in that newspaper, he has seen that Niryanam word means the tribute, Someone big died. And the whole paper is filled with photos with that tribute messages of all private companies and everyone, political things. And he said, why people are so stupid to write Niryanam and Vardhanti, all these bad, stupid words. In future, once the Pyramid Spiritual Society is in place, if someone dies, we write like change of address. This is what we have to write, GK. Change of address. The soul of Subhash Patri from this body is going to Intergalactic Federation, and it is going to stay in another body which is related to that Intergalactic Federation. If anybody want to touch this soul, come to Intergalactic Federation. He made himself as an example and he said, and someone else is there. For him also, in a jovial manner, he told. So change of address. So the soul, because soul is the one, it is not the body. Okay, body we just leave here like a dress. So the address is changing for the soul from earth dimension to some other dimension. This is what we need to write with by looking at third day. Definitely we will come to know beforehand if we meditate where this soul is going. That we write. That is really spiritual scientific. What this stupid guy says, Niryanam, Vardhanti, tribute. What tribute they are going to give? They will leave body here and soul is going. Soul doesn't have any idea what we are doing stupid things here on the earth plane. For that soul, in the name of that, all the rituals. So change of address. So that is really phenomenal, So thinking in that way, how to present a death in a newspaper, we just read like that. And we also pay money and write tribute to our parents with a big, if you have more money, full page ad. If you have less money, half page ad. This is what the stupid things like a goats we are following. Because we have money, we have to show. No. So every area, every small area which we think that it is great, simply he put a axe blade and then slice it off like anything. So, and among all the most of the concepts, the give and take, really that area he greatly taught us how to understand the give and take. So that is really a very dynamic concept. Social service, spiritual service and spiritual science service. Social service, the roti kapda makan service, food, shelter and clothing, that is what everybody will do. Spiritual service is doing the same service but in the name of God, like all the missionaries that they do the similar job of giving support for the people to live the basic living again. But there is a God concept. The third thing is spiritual science service, where we give only meditation and spiritual science to people, because that is how we can interfere in a spiritual scientific way with other person without involving the karma in between. We cannot snatch the opportunity of that person by supporting him monetarily. Instead, we can teach him meditation, we can give him spiritual science. And he started from the scratch. When we used to meet him in Karnool in his house, at that time there are no followers. Whenever a beggar comes, he used to show him a 10 rupee or 50 rupee note, and if you meditate for 40 minutes, I will give you this. Beggars usually they will see 25 NP coin, at most 1 rupee, but he shows 10 rupees or 20 rupees and says meditate. And sometimes there is no money, then he used to show the food on the dining table. I will give you a full meal, but you have to meditate 40 minutes. You know what happened within 3 months? When he started treating like this, all the beggars in that area came to know there is a Dadi Admi, a bad fellow. If you knock the door, 1 hour is gone. Of course, you will get good food and money, but you have to meditate for 1 hour. And the moment they come to the doorstep, they will put a namaskara, pranam, and then they leave the house and then they will go away. So that is how he made his own tiger lesson, his compound wall, a Wi-Fi, firewall he made. So he is a man for spiritual science, not for roti kapda makan, karma yoga. If we are doing a full day workshop, then they are entitled for a lunch, a mini lunch, sattvic lunch, to continue rest of the 3 hours. If it is only a 2 hour, 3 hour workshop, that's it. After the workshop, just go home and have your own food at your home. Nobody is here to do some Annadana for you. PSS movement is not for Annadana. PSS movement is established only for Jnanadana. So that is how very seriously he used to maintain in the initial days. And that, being a medical doctor, I used that science exclusively for the cervical spondylitis, shoulder problems and all the hands related problems, combining it with Yoga Parampara concept. All 5 levels of soul evolution. Karma Yoga part 1, Jnana Yoga part 1, Raja Yoga, Jnana Yoga part 2 and then Karma Yoga part 2. So the soul takes 25-30 lifetimes for every level and then finally it reaches to knowledge level. Pyramid masters are like Jnana Yoga part 2, teaching only meditation and spiritual science to the people. That is how we give a permanent solution, not a temporary solution. So this wisdom I learned from him when I am a medical student in Vijayawada and during my house agency period. That really helped me like a spiritual pathology to deal with a lot of give and take problems of neck and hand. And then that is how. So what are the concepts I learned from him? 1 plus Arshad Varga and so many concepts, Lakshmi Parvati Saraswati, 3 types of happinesses, 3 types of services. All those basic concepts I kept in spiritual tablets to some extent, and then from that we derived a lot of additional wisdom, and today that is acting as a key reasons for the disease. Usually reasons for the disease means like genetical reasons and environment reasons, food reasons. That is what medically we are supposed to say. But here we try to understand the soul science, the essence of soul science, and whenever we are deviating from the soul science, then we are deviating from our natural energy, our potential. That lack of potential is energy block, and then finally it is a disease. So from headache to cancer, whatever the illness it may be, even including for the hair problems, for every problem there will be a beautiful spiritual wisdom block. That is what we are able to identify. And my humble pranams to Patriji for giving a great projects like IFSS, National Spiritual Congress meetings, Mega Pyramids concept, Pyramid Party of India, and doing meditation spreading in nook and corner villages with the Dhyana Gramanam project. And through allopathic science, spiritual health also he established in a great way through different models like past life and everything he encouraged, and developed the Seth science wisdom through the workshops. Behind every project, his words and his guidance is always there to take forward this meditation and plant-based diet and soul science as the main theme. Externally, it can be in any kind of project based on the people's age, and Dhyana Ashrayam project where we used to create that spiritual old age homes with a pyramid and soul science, and expanding the wisdom from Dhyana Andhra Pradesh, that state, Telugu state, to Dhyana Bharat and Dhyana Jagat. So today across the globe, in every language, in every country, the Pyramid Spiritual Society's movement, soul science principles are spreading, means it is the vision of the Patriji in those days to spread, and the whole world should come under Maitri. That is was. And he defined all the best things, best meditation, best food, best construction pyramid, and best relationship Maitri. Everything he redefined which is best. That is what we are trying to follow today. And it's a great privilege and great day to celebrate his birthday on November 11th. And I am happy to meet all masters of Malaysia, Vietnam, Bali and Singapore who are coming to Malaysia. And then 11th we are going to celebrate. So thank you very much for Omega Pyramid Masters. And my visit to Dallas team is due, waiting for Divya to invite me so that we can have a beautiful workshop. And the formula behind a public pyramid I would like to share when we meet in person maybe. So thank you all, thank you very much, and pranams to Patriji once again.